know really how to put a lot of things together that I want to mention. First of all, I want to thank everyone who has come here. My daughter, David, and family members, and all of you that are here, and Washington College of Law. Want to thank you all very, very much for this. As Caroline mentioned, it's really not about me so much. I'm a representative of thousands of students, first of all, that have gone through the law school, and a rather typical example, nothing special really, of first generation people that Caroline mentioned that have thrived in this extraordinary country of ours that we all hope, with all the nibbling around the edges, comes through fine. So thank you for all of you who are coming. Thank you, Caroline and David, again. Thank you, family, and thank you, Washington College of Law. On the board outside of this little room, which is an extraordinary event because it's a trial practice room. I thought when I went to law school I probably wouldn't practice. I thought I would teach and then perhaps head up a small liberal arts college someplace, Pennsylvania or somewhere. But I took moot court, and it completely changed my perspective, and I decided I wanted to represent people. And so I went to Texas, where I had a marvelous opportunity, and be careful what you wish for. That's exactly what I did for 50 years. And I was also blessed with, as been mentioned, teaching, which is a second joy of being two most comfortable places in my life. To be honest with you, it have been the courtroom and the classroom. And that's just, completely unplanned and serendipitous in many events, but that's what's comfortable. Outside this courtroom, there's a little plaque that says, "Justice looks for no prize and no price. It is sought for itself, and is at once the cause and meaning of all the virtues." It's attributed to Cicero, but he probably picked it up from the Greeks before that, and charitably speaking, and it's been common historically for what lawyers aspire to. We don't always succeed. A little bit about the law school, very brief historically. This law school was begun in 1896 by two women lawyers who were asked by three women who wanted to go to law school but were effectively denied because they were women. And they started in a little office with three women who wanted to be lawyers, and before you knew it, here we are. The last count I have is 1,138 students are in what I believe is the most magnificent law school, structurally and physically, in the country. We send people all over the world, not to all of our states, even Texas, and we are a collaborative educational opportunity for making great, good lawyers throughout this country and throughout the world in many ways. And heavens knows we need clear thinking, disciplined, legal thinking now as much as ever in our history. And one of the pride, I think, of all of us is that out of this law school, we graduate clear thinking, analytical people with fair minds who keep in mind that the objective is justice. Without justice, there are no other virtues really that can survive. And if justice is lost, as we all know, we're in critical condition. Our faculty here is beyond distinguished. It is exceptional in every way. A few things about that I think may be of some interest in terms of family. My mother was the academician in the family. She graduated from junior high school in Greece. Dad had about 2 or 3 years of formal education, and they all came over here together with my relatives, and I'm proud to be the first graduate in our family from high school, and we continued on after that. Thanks to my mother, she took me by the hand over to the Carnegie Library in Sheridan. I thought it was the Congressional Library in Washington, D.C. I was astonished. It was preschool. We didn't have preschool in those days in Sheridan, Wyoming. We had the Carnegie Library. And I thought I had entered the Congressional Law Library, huge. It was probably about the size of my home now, maybe not that large. But it was a miraculous place for me. And the books on the wall before the first grade opened up in my mind the entire world, and it was in a little small town in Sheridan, Wyoming. So thanks to that, thanks to some extraordinary teachers and a fine coach, of course, I loved athletics, still do. I continued to learn, and trying lawsuits was a thrill, and it was a pleasure. One of my best friends is on the cover of Super Lawyers today. Well, not my best friend, but a very good friend. And she's, Karen is on the cover page. And she said she would try a lawsuit for a milkshake. And I agree. You know, find me a lawsuit to try. And I was always first in the office in the morning and the last to leave at night. It's kind of hard on the family. I understand. But that's what occurred. As I practiced cases, and I'll make this has been long enough already, but as I tried lawsuits and went to court every day and to office every day, and after about 30 years or more, I began to ask myself, what is going on with the way we treat each other? How should we as human beings, how ought we behave to each other? How should we treat one another? And I became more and more interested in studying legal and medical ethics, and I went to Germany. I went through the Nuremberg courts, read all the depositions, not all of them, but many of the depositions, and went through all the historical evidence of Nuremberg and all of the nightmare that was brought out into facts. We believed that that after the war there should be a trial, and to establish on the record that people shouldn't be allowed and ought not behave this way. So that became the grounding. The Nuremberg trials became the grounding of my doctoral dissertation on medical and legal ethics. While in Germany on another time, I went to some of the Mannheim, Auschwitz, Buchenwald. I put my hands in the shower rooms where the scratches from the fingernails of the condemned were still there. I went to the ovens and to the crematoria, put my hand on those, and I thought, this is something that we must think about. And so I've tried in all my classes as objectively as I can, not involved in any kind of political propaganda of any kind. I've always tried to make a point that lawyers, as much as anyone, can make a difference in how we go about treating each other and making decisions. And I just wanted to mention that as to why I, after years of in the courtroom, and I decided to spend a lot more time studying and doing some writing and teaching. couple of things, and I'll end. I think Benjamin Franklin said, "Life was the bold and arduous project of arriving at moral perfection." He said that as a young man. A couple last points I'd like to make, perhaps to any students here, and I've already said this to students in publications. Number one, in the practical world, pick your partners very carefully. Pick your partners very carefully. They're going to have a gigantic impact on your life, professional and personal. And finally, for all prospective lawyers, try to find an area of the law that is meaningful to you. But try to find an area of the law that you believe in, and try your hardest to spend your time and energy, because life is a gift from God, and we're here to live it as well as we can. So I would offer that. And one more time, darling, thank you, Carolyn, for all of this, and David. This is an overwhelming event and wholly unexpected. And thank you to Washington College of Law.
And now we need to all have a quick toast.